Lockdown K released a video called What Actually Happened to These Viral Basketball Players. This should be a funny video because the thumbnail includes Julian, Newman, LiAngelo Ball. Who is this? White Me? I don't know. This isn't this a 7'8" dude? Like I don't know who that is. But all right, man. Let's get to the video.
Waking up one day and seeing that one of your basketball mixtapes has gone viral, reaching millions of people. Well, that's what happened to these guys. Well, for the players that we're covering today, this sudden success was a reality that shot them to the top of the basketball world. Unfortunately though, this fame can disappear just as fast as it came to them, leaving them to find a new path to follow in life. But that still begs the question, what happened to them? I did some research and I was surprised by what I found.
There's a face to the channel. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of those faceless automated channels. I like that. I like that.
Is there a better way to start this video than with a member of one of the most hyped up prospect families in the history of basketball? And so, covering the product of LeVar Ball's genius marketing, we have his second son, LiAngelo Ball. We all know that it was impossible to be a basketball fan without being bombarded with highlights from every single one of the Ball brothers' performances back in 2015. I mean, did we ever see...
I never saw it in LiAngelo, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Out of those Ball brothers, Lonzo, I definitely saw it. LaMelo, I actually was high on before like he even had that growth spurt. I just like the way that he played. But LiAngelo, dog, never saw it. Shout out to Persian for the $3.
When you gonna react to the stuff people responded to your messages about in the Discord?
Oh, you talking about the Explorer page? I haven't reacted to that. God, L streamer, man, L streamer. But
three brothers playing together on the same team, absolutely destroying the opposition? Out of the three, LiAngelo has by far the biggest frame, which he used to bully players offensively and score from anywhere on the court. From spot-up shots to straight-up forcing his way to the rim, he was doing whatever he wanted on offense. LeVar would even go as far to say that his son was stronger than Zion.
I mean, he does look built. Zion's different.
Now, obviously, this was just part of LeVar's marketing scheme to get his sons into the league. However, still though, LiAngelo's strength was undeniable. Still, during high school, he would find himself a bit behind his brothers regarding talent recognition, so he'd end up as only a 3-star recruit. The fame was there, which helped him get a few college offers. The one he would commit to, though, would be UCLA, just as he was ready to make a name for himself in the basketball world. Things wouldn't go as planned for him, as his college career would be much shorter than he hoped, and not for good reasons.
I feel like if I was personally 6'4", I would play exactly like LiAngelo. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I lost 20 pounds, really took basketball seriously, and grew to 6'4", I feel like I'd end up playing like LiAngelo. I ain't gonna lie. Like, with that type of handle, too, type shit.
Thing is that...
Nah, it's just, like, what is he? What's his build, chat? A 6'4", small forward shot creator? That's bulky? That's a crazy build. When has that ever worked? I think like LiAngelo in his perfect case scenario would be like Desmond Bane. You know what I'm saying? Like if he got leaner and improved that handle a little bit. Talk about a undersized wing that can really score. I think Desmond Bane would be like, you know what I'm saying, his build.
During the preseason international tour that the Pac-12 held in China, LiAngelo and two of his UCLA mates got caught stealing Louis Vuitton glasses. This would not only result in a 1-year suspension for them, but literally risk going to jail in another country. This would end up nearly causing an international crisis as U.S. diplomacy and Donald Trump had to intervene to help them avoid getting imprisoned and get them safely returned to the U.S. As he returned to American soil, LiAngelo decided there was no way he would spend 1 full year not playing basketball. So he decided to go with LaMelo to play professionally in the Lithuanian League to prepare for the 2018 draft. Unfortunately, this would end up not going well, as LiAngelo would break his ankle in Europe and end up not being drafted. He would find himself forced to play in the Junior Basketball League founded by his own father. There he would start showing some of that LiAngelo magic that we saw in high school, as he dropped a couple of 50-point burgers and led his team to the title and got finals MVP. This would get the interest of NBA scouts for the second time around. with multiple teams getting him to join their summer league or training camp squad. This would not net him a spot in the main squad of these franchises. However, he would still show enough to play in the G League, where he is still, to this day, a part of the Hornets G League affiliate, the Greensboro Swarm. I mean, he didn't succeed like his brothers, with both Lonzo and LaMelo having been top 2 picks in the drafts. But still, LiAngelo's NBA dreams are alive, as with enough work, he could hopefully get a spot in the rotation of 1 of 30 NBA.
Bro, I remember that week LiAngelo was in the G League. Yo, DKM was going crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to my guy DKM. Newlywed DKM. Bro, that week, putting out crazy content, getting off the craziest I told you so's, bro. That shit was so funny.
NBA teams coming soon. Guys, take a look at this slam cover from 2002. To the right, you have a player considered by many to arguably be the greatest in the league's history. And to the left, you have this guy. And for those who
Sebastian
don't know
Telfair?
him, this is Sebastian Telfair.
I know
At the
ball,
time,
I know
they
ball,
were
I know
both
ball.
seen as the next big thing in the world of basketball. Straight from Coney Island, Sebastian was the #1 player in the country in every one of his years in middle school. Still,
I
his
don't know
fame would
Sebastian
only really
Telfair?
shine during his time in high school at Lincoln Academy. He would
I don't know Sebastian Telfair. I'm gonna be honest. I started watching basketball in 2010. But even I know Sebastian Telfair. Come on, dog. I ain't gonna lie. He used to be a calm little backup point guard in those early 2Ks, like 2K12 type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were trying to build a team, you need like a 79 overall point guard. Get you Sebastian Telfair.
quickly become one of the most sought-after prospects in basketball, even becoming the youngest player ever selected to the Adidas ABCD camp. Sonny Vaccaro would even say that Sebastian was one of the most brilliant high school players that he has ever seen. Oh, in case you were wondering who this Sonny guy is, he is none other than the man who signed Michael Jordan to Nike back in the 80s. Anyway, at the time, everything was lined up for Sebastian to become the next big thing. He would end his high school career as a 5-star recruit, win the USA Mr. Basketball Award in 2004, and even managed to become the all-time leading scorer in New York. He was such a big sensation that stars like Jay-Z lined up just to watch his high school games. Every single college wanted a piece of him. At the time, players were still allowed to go from high school straight to the NBA. And with Sebastian wishing to get his family out of the projects as quickly as possible, the decision was very clear. He declared for the 2004 draft. He also signed with Adidas for a $15 million shoe deal to kickstart his future as a star in the league. However, there was a small problem. Well, a big problem. His game just didn't translate to the league. I mean, what it came down to was he was a 6-foot guard who was really fast, but couldn't really defend and couldn't really shoot. Now, while this didn't make him a bad player, it more just meant he wasn't going to be the next big thing in the NBA. It just meant that that star level wasn't really in his future for the NBA. He would still play in the NBA for a total of 10 seasons. He would find a role as a journeyman guard, as he played for 8 different teams during his tenure in the league. And he would finally retire in 2015, having made enough money to live and retire peacefully. That unfortunately was not what ended up happening.
Who the fuck was that? Who is that?
Having made enough money to live and retire.
I thought that was Justin Bieber, dog. I thought that was J Biebs.
Peacefully. That unfortunately was not what ended up happening to him. As from there on out, it was only the beginning of the problems for him. Now, Sebastian had already gotten into a few legal troubles during his time in the league, like when he got caught driving way over the speed limit in 2007, or when he pleaded guilty to criminal possession of a gun in 2008. But that would be nothing compared to what—
Yo, Quellum, I addressed it earlier in the stream. I know he called me out.
happened to him in 2017, when he was sentenced to 3 years in jail for yet another weapons possession that would end up in an appeal that is still going on to this day. And to make matters worse, in just 2021, he would get caught in a fraud scandal with 17 other former NBA players, like Tony Allen and Glenn Davis, after they had allegedly tried to defraud the NBA's welfare program. For someone who was once said to take over the league with LeBron James, takeover is far from what actually happened. We now have the profile of a different type of player, Connor Williams. Standing at only 7 feet tall and weighing
with the mask?
over 370 pounds, to compare, a prime Yao Ming weighed about 310 pounds at 7'6". Now, your first thought when you see this guy would be that he has a bully ball playstyle, using his big body to just go through every single defender in the way. But that actually couldn't be farther from the truth. Because, believe it or not, despite his big build, his most famous highlight tapes are actually of him giving dimes and making threes. We're talking about one of the biggest players in college basketball.
How he fat Jokic. Oh my God, bruh. How he fat Jokic.
Playing with the
That's
same
crazy.
finesse as a 6-foot guard. He enrolled in St. John Fisher's D3 basketball program, where he would fill up the center spot. In 2021, he would have his moment of glory when a clip of him
already
exploded
gets called
online during an exhibition game versus the University of Buffalo. And you can see it right here. Connor tripped up, rolled his ankle, and still managed to get up and finish the play with a beautiful pass right into the rim, giving his teammate an easy dunk. He would start receiving praise from every corner, with his coach even saying that he was lucky to have him on his team, as it felt like he was having another coach on the court. His fame would get even bigger when
you really fat Jokic.
done with
What
him
the
would
fuck?
show how nice and down to earth he is, earning him more than 40,000 followers on Instagram. A few months later, another highlight of him would surface, but this time it would be of him knocking down threes. Connor has been doing his thing in college, balancing basketball and a cybersecurity major, all while hoping that he maybe gets that NBA call someday. Still, this guy also seems to have business in his blood by making sure to cash in off his newfound viral success. He knew there was no better time to monetize his image and likeliness than when he had national spotlights all over him. And so he worked closely with numerous companies like Barstool Sports and DXL, even going as far as making signed player cards available on the market. Oh, and we can't forget about his big heart, because despite being a college student athlete, he is very implicated in charity work and giving back to his community. Connor took his viral success as a perfect opportunity to sell branded sweatshirts and give a chunk of the sale to a local charity organization.
What a guy.
We appreciate you, Connor. As we've seen throughout this video, getting a taste of early basketball success doesn't
Connor,
necessarily translate into making a living out of the sport. Well, unless you're an early bloomer like
Akill,
Carr, the Baltimore native was must-watch basketball during his high school days.
Nah, he had a crazy mixtape.
Every single news outlet of the region praising him and presenting him as a future great of the sport. Despite only being 5'6", Carr was one of the most electric players in the entire nation. His quick first step and
Chad, look at some of these handles, dog.
Players who were far bigger and
his mixtapes were insane.
He would even posterize players that he had no business doing to. Every single highlight contributed to his rapidly growing fame, with mixtapes online earning millions of views and helping spread his name. During just his sophomore year at Patterson High School, he would cement his status as a Baltimore legend, with numerous incredible performances, like when he carried his team to win the Christmas game special with a 57-point burger bomb over Forest Park, beating on the same occasion his school's all-time scoring record. He would even lead his school the following year to win a state championship. Man, at that point, Akill was turning into something much bigger than basketball. He was turning into a Baltimore native legend. His high school even started to relocate some of the games to the arena in Morgan State University.
Does Sage know about him?
Patterson's gym couldn't fit the thousands of people that wanted to see him play. This would lead him to earning one of the most unique nicknames ever, as Carr was called the Crime Stopper, literally coming from the fact that so many people wanted to watch his games that the crime rate was lower on game days. As you can guess, when you reach that point of fame, chances are that the entire nation knows about you. And let me tell you, that was exactly the case. And in 2011, Akill would get selected to represent the USA junior team in an international tournament in Italy. And there, he did one of the most carry jobs in history, averaging 40 points per game and leading USA to a gold medal. He impressed the Italians so much that they even offered him a $750,000 annual contract before he even got out of high school. So he had to decide, pros or college? And according to him, he opted out from college, even though he had over 28 scholarships to play all over the country. To everyone's surprise though, Akill wanted to be under the lights of the big league. He would forego his college eligibility, going to play in China first with retired NBA legends. Things didn't work out overseas, so he went to play one season in the D-League with the Delaware 87ers.
Nah, bro, I ain't gonna lie. That's smart from his perspective, at least in my opinion. Because while, yes, he had the potential to make it to the big leagues, like, being able to provide for your family that soon, that quick, I felt like it was worth a shot. And I'm gonna keep it a bean. I feel like there's a lot of basketball players that would have really long careers if they just played in any other league beside the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Because the standards for the NBA is so high that, you know, for some players, it is of your best interest to play overseas for a longer period of time, maybe not make as much money. Maybe it isn't your ultimate dream, because I feel like every Hooper's dream is to make it to the NBA, or at least a lot of Hooper's dreams are. But, you know, if you can land a situation where you're making $500,000, $750,000 a year playing basketball, you know how crazy that is? I understand, like, when we talk about NBA numbers, it doesn't sound that crazy. But just me and you, regular people, $500,000, $700,000 a year to play basketball, and you can maintain that for multiple years, even just a 4 or 5 year run. 4 or 5 year run, you can rack up $5 million. You know what you could do with $5 million in 5 years, dog? Like, god damn, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money right there. That's nothing to scoff at.
Where he still ended up having issues with the team. So right after that, he declared for the 2014 NBA draft. The problem he faced is that short guards are some of the most undervalued prospects for NBA teams.
Yeah.
So the 5'6" guard would find himself undrafted. From there on out, he would go abroad to keep playing the game he loved, playing some seasons in Canada, then in Cyprus, before finding his way back to the USA, and playing for his hometown's team, the Baltimore Hawks, in the ABA. And well, one thing's for sure, it's that he didn't lose an ounce of talent, as he got selected as an ABA All-Star just last year. As good as a player can get, one saying is repeated in the basketball world, that you can't teach height, which would unfortunately spell the demise of Akill's NBA hopes. What happens when you shut down a young viral prospect in front of millions of people? Well, you become a viral sensation yourself. This is the story of Michi Terry, the 6-foot defensive-oriented guard who was a central part of the St. Edwards Eagles.
Bro, I know someone who went to school with
even
them,
helping
dog.
them reach an Ohio State Finals 4 appearance.
Shout out to
He
Darius.
was a true hound on the court,
But
always
stop.
being the one player to do that one hustle play that
You're a
was
lick
needed,
monster,
or
dude.
just take the opposition's best player. Every single scout profile compared him to Pat Bev, with him being an aggressive on-ball defender and a very,
Pat
very
Bev
vocal
comparisons
trash
is
talk.
crazy.
Even more than
I
all
fuck
of
with
this,
it, though. I
what
fuck
really
with
made him famous was his slightly different appearance. Because as just a high schooler, Terry was already losing most of the hair on his head, earning him the nickname Bald Head. This would also lead to many online questioning his real age, especially in the comments on his social media posts. Terry's fame would reach its height when during a game against Spire Institute, he would trash talk the young star LaMelo Ball before locking him up during the next play. This fame would be short-lived though, because he would soon find himself fighting way bigger problems in his life.
What the
like
fuck?
I said, his high school career was
Did he go broke?
good, but it wasn't good enough to garner real interest
Did
from
he go
big
broke?
colleges. He did attract some interest from a big prep school in Minnesota, which he wanted to play for, but they didn't have any housing for him. The thing is that Terry had bet everything on joining, so when that plan fell down,
Bald
he actually
fam.
found himself having to
Oh
live
my
in a
God.
homeless shelter in Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
He absolutely did not
He
give
actually
up
did
on his
go broke.
situation and decided to just start grinding on his own. He would put in daily work in the gym before going back to the shelter at night. This hard work would not go unnoticed, as he would get recruited by DME Academy and given a chance in Florida. And he did not let it go to waste. He just balled out, and he managed to get the spotlight back on him again.
Get it? Yo, get it? He just balled out.
But this time it wasn't because of his looks, it was purely for his skill. The fairy tale would not stop here though, as in 2020, he would get that college call that he so desperately waited for. And no, it wouldn't be any random one.
Akimbo! No, chat, that's crazy.
After all this hard work, Terry succeeded in getting a Division I offer from Cleveland State. He immediately accepted it and took it as an occasion to turn his life around. While he wasn't the most flamboyant player on the court, his high intensity and hustle plays helped him become a frequent contributor to the team. And even academically, he flourished, as he made the Dean's List in just his freshman year. While dreams of turning pro may be a bit far for him, he still managed to amass an impressive following on social media, with more than 100,000 followers on Instagram,
Big bald
which
fam.
could present a new career opportunity that may be opening to him. The era of young players.
Yeah, bro, fuck it. I ain't gonna lie. Start a basketball pod, bro. I'm telling you right now, even though he never made the league, the amount of people that can say that they played basketball at his level is still not a lot of people. And, you know, as much as I'm good at what I do in terms of thinking of titles, thumbnails, ideas, and talking about basketball to a certain degree, dog, like, credibility does go a long way when it comes to this shit. You know, people will take you more seriously because you have a certain level of credibility. Yeah, man. Yo, player's choice. Hit him up. Type shit.
Mixtapes has brought us to a point where kids as young as 10 can reach worldwide fame thanks to a good few performances in middle school games.
Julian
The
Newman.
case of Julian Newman is no different. He would find himself under the spotlight of numerous media outlets because he was one of the best young guys in the world at the moment. He would start making a reputation while playing for Downey Christian Middle School in Florida. He would dominate the competition there, even dropping 91 points in a single game. And so, as just a 4'5", 11-year-old kid, Julian would find himself playing for his school's varsity team, and he would do pretty okay for himself, averaging a solid 12 points, 11 assists, double-double throughout his first few appearances. The following season was no different. He would up his production to 17 points per game. The ease with which he dominated varsity competition, despite being a 12-year-old kid, quickly turned him into a child star, and he was everywhere. It started with YouTube videos of him getting millions of views,
19 million?
turned into every news outlet reporting on him, before finally ending up with him getting invited.
Nah, this video has to have Jay Sean Augusto in it. I feel like it's a fail of a video if Jay Sean Augusto is not in it, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
To every big talk show in America, from Steve Harvey to Ellen DeGeneres, Julian was everywhere, with some labeling him as the most marketed 12-year-old kid on the entire planet. He would continue his meteoric rise even in high school, with big performance after big performance.
Yo,
as a sophomore, he averaged a
hold on. This dude apparently actually ended up being like a college pro, or like not a college pro, but like he either played college or went all the way up to pro.
Big performance. As a sophomore, he averaged a crazy
dude
35 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals per game. He would play his senior year with Prodigy Prep, a school created by his father, where Julian would wait to see what college offers he would get. Unfortunately for him, he would not get any significant one. The thing with Julian is that he was 4'5".
This dude just sat on my desk, dude. Oh shit. All right. I'm not gonna do that. But you all right? You want to sit on the desk, buddy? Paw. He's scared. Yeah.
As an 11-year-old, people still bet that he would grow, but unfortunately, he would reach his maximum height at just 5'7". That, combined with the fact that he had some pretty glaring attitude issues, made colleges avoid recruiting him to their programs. This would result in him having to completely turn his life around and shift away from the idea of playing pro basketball. He would focus on developing his Prodigy brand, all while being a social media star with nearly 700,000.
He's doing the right thing though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, at some point, if you're one of these child hoop stars, be realistic with your hoop dreams, and also leverage what you've built so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, Julian Newman has 600,000 followers. What you could do with that is crazy. And look, I mean, if you look at his bio, it looks like he's maximized it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a Fashion Nova ambassador. He's an athlete for Boost Mobile. You know, Ethica ambassador. I've seen him on a couple of like House of Highlights videos and streams too. So, you know, he's really taking advantage of it. At some point, bro, hey, this is what you got. Work with what you got. Pause.
Followers on Instagram. This would give him the status to play in star scrimmages like the Creator League, where he would actually find quite a bit of success. Overall, he was a child basketball star that reached his peak way too early in his life. But that actually may have been for the best. The family was able to capitalize off his newfound success with TV shows, merch, everything you could think of. And they're all doing pretty well off with the business that they've created.
Man.
Maybe some of the other viral stars that we talk about later on in this video should have followed the path of maximizing off of their newfound stardom. Back in the day, there was no bigger YouTube channel than Hoops Mixtape. With more than 300 million total views.
Were they bigger than Baller's Life? I felt like Baller's Life was bigger, but
with a bit less than 400 videos. It was by far the leader when it came to posting hoop mixtapes. And within all of those videos, there was one guy that was so impressive that his video became the most watched video on that channel with over 16 million views.
Seventh Woods? Hey!
And so, at just 14 years old, Seventh Woods became an overnight sensation and a household name for his incredible performances on the court.
No. The
rest of his high school time at Hammond School would be no different, as he would continue to shine game after game.
Are you going to Atlanta anytime soon? I might go in January. Don't lock that in, but I might go in January.
Ending his sophomore season with averages of 20 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals per game. This was enough to win him the South Carolina Boys Basketball Player of the Year and earn him a selection into the under-16 U.S. national team. With them, he would go on to win the gold medal in the 2013 FIBA American Under-16 tournament, which also featured some future NBA players like Jamal Murray. The rest of his time in high school would just be spent between invitational camps and AAU games, with him ending up as a top 15 guard in the country by the time he graduated. This would earn him offers from multiple schools, notably North and South Carolina University. He would choose North Carolina, with whom he would actually have quite a good freshman season, as he played a record-tying 40 games in it. Unfortunately, his basketball trajectory would be completely derailed in his sophomore.
Those hops weren't hopping like they were in high school. Y'all see that dunk chat? Did he have some sort of injury?
Carolina University. He would choose North Carolina, with whom he would actually have quite a good.
Look at this dunk. Like it was good. Obviously, I can't fucking do that shit. But like, when your claim to fame is uber athleticism.
He played a record-tying 40 games in it.
You know what I'm
Unfortunately, his basketball trajectory would be completely derailed in his sophomore season, as he suffered a foot stress
Oh, well, there you go. Well, there you fucking go.
fracture that sidelined him for most of the season. Upon returning, he would not be his former self, so he would find himself behind future NBA player Kobe White on the guard rotation. The thing with Woods is that his story shows us the unfortunate side of when success comes at a young age. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, he would finally share how the mental stress got to him over the years, and actually how hard it was for him to be under the spotlight. Just imagine this. You're a 14-year-old kid who finds himself becoming a national basketball star. You know that every single one of your plays is going to be scrutinized by analysts.
Being benched by Kobe White is... Yo, not too much on Kobe White. Kobe White, he was like that in college from what I remember.
All over the country. At that point, playing basketball can become more of a chore than anything else.
And they want to...
You're just doing your best to avoid disappointing people. And that is exactly what happened with Woods. As his level was steadily declining, he would first go closer to home by attending the University of South Carolina before choosing to
Yo, Automod didn't let that that chat go through because of specifically the part of the chat that says white is disgusting. Now that's a crazy Automod. Yo, Automod is going crazy. Like I'm looking at it right now. It said approve or deny. Devilman Rome says being benched by Kobe White is disgusting. And then it highlighted white is disgusting. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Transfer to Morgan State for his final year to get as far away from the fame as he could. This would greatly help him recover mentally and eventually lead him to go play abroad, as he just signed a contract with the UGC Demons to go play in the Irish League. We can only hope that he will be able to get back to where he was and achieve a long career as a pro basketball player, even if it's not with the NBA. One type of player that NBA teams absolutely love is super tall guys with raw skills. So when
I just think of MJ2K's videos when I see this dude, dog. Because he has a video on him that has like 8 million views. And whenever I study his channel, like his name just pops up every time.
Basketball world started getting wind of a 7'7" guy playing the sport. You better believe that every single scout had their eyes on him.
I'm pretty sure he played with LaMelo too.
Robert Bobroczky is just that. At just 12 years old, he had already surpassed the 7'2" mark and was getting offers from all over Europe. The Romanian would end up choosing to play in Italy for Stella Azzurra, where he would start working on his fundamentals and dominate everyone in his age category with his height. 2 years later, he would come back.
He looks so uncoordinated, but clearly he isn't. Like, this is such a weird build.
Back to the US to play actual good competition and get his body ready for the physicality of the American style of play. There, he would attend Spire Institute, next to the likes of
goofy ass run.
LaMelo Ball. The
motherfucker said.
Thing is though, he would quickly become a phantom member of the roster, as he never participated in any game. Contrary to guys like Taco Fall, Robert's body just couldn't withstand playing games. He was so thin coming to the USA that the coaching staff's priority was just to bulk him up. Unfortunately, some things can't be changed, and his naturally lanky body just couldn't get enough muscle on to truly compete. Not only that, but he
let alone the skill work and all that other shit. Like if we're spending all this time just trying to get you like nourished, it's not worth it, dog.
Kept having a series of back injuries that would ultimately culminate in a scoliosis that would...
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable. Like, something is wrong. Like, he looks stiff as fuck. Like, he looks like if he went to the chiropractor, he'd have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But, nah.
Greatly limit his movement. Luckily, his academic success in college and his great ability to learn languages have helped build himself new career opportunities away from the court. Did you ever wonder if a grade schooler could become a basketball star?
Yes, sir!
Well, no need to ask, because up next, we have a player who became a total sensation at just 10 years old.
Video, man.
Jashawn Augustin. His dad published a video that showed his son's skills and training regime, and it quickly became a viral video, getting national coverage and even appearing on the news. He was quickly labeled to be the best 11-year-old player ever. Not only that, but his dedication at such a young age for the sport made a lot of people want to root for the young guy. After all, he was training more than 4 hours a day for 7 days a week, honing and bettering his craft.
Now, when I saw this part of the video, Now, mind you, now it's kind of like, it's simple as fuck. But mind you, when I was watching this, I was also 8 years old myself, 9 years old myself. I'm like, no way he's dribbling 2 balls at the same time and he's 10. This dude is the chosen one. What the fuck?
Everyone saw him in the true Mamba mentality. Oh, and we can't forget about his innate athleticism and physical ability, as his speed and endurance were something that had not been seen before in the world of sport, with multiple veteran coaches predicting that he could win multiple gold medals in the Olympics. He would continue shining as a middle schooler, even making it to a varsity team despite being so young. As a high schooler though, he would finally get the growth spurt that he so desperately needed, getting to a respectable 5'11" and would continue building his legacy. He would end up winning 2 back-to-back state championships and would ultimately end up as a 4-star recruit. He would get quite a few college offers, but would end up going to Long Island Uni. With the Sharks, he would start settling down into a more basic role and end up averaging just over 11 points per game. He tried his chance by declaring for the 2020 draft, but a combination of his small size, as well as him not having shown any particular flash of genius in college, would make him go undrafted. Still, he wouldn't abandon the sport, as he is now a basketball trainer helping people who are in the same situation as him make it to the big league. And last but not least, we have someone that took over the internet and may be more popular than any of the other guys in this video. But I think you guys already know who he is.
Big Z? Big Z?
The only guy in the video to not fall off and actually make the league, even going number 1 in 2019. But not all number 1 picks end up being as great as we think. And there's one guy in the 2010s that may have had a bigger falling off than some of the people in this video. I know, sounds crazy, right? Well, this video showing on your screen right here may make you think elsewise.
Oh no, this guy's actually good, man. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to this dude, man. Shout out to Lockdown K. I'm gonna throw a sub right now. Here's his fucking channel. This guy got potential.